I know a lot of you, but I know all of you. So I look forward to building cool relationships with all of you. So just really excited here. We're about 19 practices in, just to get rolling and to play against teams in other colors than blue and white. So we are excited this Friday night to go to Pittsburgh and play Robert Morris in an exhibition game against Robert Morris there. A road game for us. All the proceeds. This is a Coaches versus Cancer game on Friday. All the proceeds will go to Coaches versus Cancer, American Cancer Society. One of Andy Toole's staff members, Matthew Sweet, his director of bass operations, is battling lung cancer right now. So when Andy and I were talking late summer, I thought it would be a great opportunity for our guys to go play on the road and get ready for this season, but also to help Matt and his family in their battle against cancer. So we're going there. As for our team, every day is a different day, and then we're building this, and we're trying to really set our foundation of what we're trying to do and our style of play. But I've been really appreciative and excited about the steps our team has taken here this preseason. Just guys getting more familiar with each other, the way they're playing together, and how hard they're working. So we got a lot of work to do, like every team in the country, getting ready for their first game. But I see some pieces that I really like, and we still got a ways to go to get where we want to go. But I do like what we're becoming, and I think each week we've gotten better. I think we've had some really good days of scrimmaging and live action that has really helped us, form this team and understand what it's going to take for this team to win as we move forward. So excited to get going here this Friday night against an opponent, and of course very soon with the regular season. John, you're wearing that Phillies hat with some pride today. I like that, like many of us. I think number one is they really share the ball. So that to me is so when you get a new team and different pieces and guys showing up, and when you really hope they share the ball. Not everybody is, not everyone does that. What I do like about this group from day one, they've done a very good job of trying to make the right play, but sharing the basketball. A hot basketball, as I call it, is a harder one to guard. That has really helped this team grow. That for sure. And then I think we got to be able to shoot the ball at a high clip. We've had days where we've done that and given our guys confidence. I thought we did that in the summer, and even down in the Bahamas we did that. That's got to be our identity. We got to play with great pace, but we got to share the ball, and then we got to make shots.
Mark Brennan, Lines 247. Mike, nice seeing
Hey,
you
Mark.
again. With a team like this, with so many different faces, obviously you in a new place, a new coaching staff, how do you set expectations when you're this close to the season, and what are your expectations?
Well, number one is win the day. Um, it doesn't matter who we play next or what our schedule is coming up if we don't take care of today. That's coach cliche as well, but it's the fact when you're a new coach and you're trying to build an identity and a culture, as people use that term. We have to be, the hardest playing, the hardest rocking team there is. We got to set that tone every day against each other. So winning the day, when I say winning the day, is setting the tone every day of having high standards and high expectations. And when they're not, I got to call them out. I got to let the guys know that we got to do that over, or that's not good enough, or there's punishment, if you want to call it that, whatever. That these are the standards that we have to play at and we have to act upon all the time to get where we want to go. Now, our expectations, put ourselves in a position to win the next game. Like that's always been my mentality. If you win the day and you take care of the next day, you start stacking some days. That's when you become better and better. That's really important to me. So And then it's my job every day to help these guys become a little bit better individually and as a team. Let's have a clear understanding of how we're going to do that. So, those are my expectations. Now, when it comes to Friday night, we want to win, and then the next time we put our uniform on, we got to find a way to win the game. I don't care who we play; that's always going to be our expectation. I don't care if we go on the road to the best teams in the country, which we will do. Find a way to win. It's not a best of 7 series that day. It's just one 40-minute game. Find a way, and I've always been that way. Win the day, have high expectations and standards, and fight for that every day, and then have the guys really believe that on that one night in those 40 minutes, let's do what we're capable of doing.
Joe Smeltzer, Nittany Sports Now. Mike, first off, I love that you're a Rage Against the Machine fan. I know you mentioned last week seeing them in Madison Square Garden. From a basketball end, obviously Ace has had a fantastic career. You've seen all of it, but players are evolving all the time. What changes have you seen in him since he's been at Penn State? Could be from a on the court or a leadership standpoint. And how are you expecting Penn State fans to see a different Ace Baldwin than what the player was at VCU that you coached for 3 years?
Well, another year in college basketball, another year of maturity. I hope he's even more consistent than he was last year. That's really important. I think his competitiveness has helped his teammates. One thing about Ace is he's ultra competitive, even in a shooting game or half-court scrimmage or to a live game that you'll see this year. He's got an edge, and I think it's helped other guys, all of us being new together, that it's okay to have that edge and to bring it out every day. So that, I think, is number one. We need that from him. I think he's become a better shooter. I think he's become a better three-point shooter. We need to get him open 3 looks. As a guy that is also one of our primary ball handlers, he shoots the ball at a very high clip. So it would really help us if he got more open threes and off the pass threes, catch and shoot threes. So that's something I think he's improved on. And then, just like anything, you're better in your 4th year doing something in your 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. And let's use that experience. The biggest thing Ace is going to have to deal with this year is we're not going to win every game. He thinks we should win every game. And so his maturity and his leadership, he has to show us when we have a tough night or we have a tough first half. Is he going to lead? Is he going to lead when we have adversity? And as adversity strikes our team, like any team in the country, is he going to be able to lead us through that and out of that? And the best way to do that is together, but I want him leading the way.
Hi, Mike. Seth Engel, Daily Collegian. Another guy you kind of spoke glowingly of at Big Ten Media Day was Puff Johnson, a Pennsylvania guy. What was that like to get him over from UNC and to kind of share a similar path of, both being from Pennsylvania, coming back to the home state, and was there any relationship you guys had when he was in high
there's
school?
the pre-existing relationship with the Johnson family. As I recruited his brother Cam to Rice, he came on an official visit of Rice down in Houston. And then, of course, Jimmy Martelli had a relationship with his family as well when he was out at Robert Morris and Pittsburgh and so forth. So we tried to recruit Puff going into his senior year, and he had a great summer that senior year. Of course, he goes to Carolina. So that existing relationship with his family definitely helped when he went in the portal. We jumped right on him, and he was very excited getting back to Pennsylvania. He had a lot of friends here at Penn State, was very familiar with Penn State. I don't know if he had any road trips to Penn State, but if you talk to him, I think he did, which helped. And I think what Puff is, number one, is he is a high-level communicator. If you watch him, he is just his vibe. He's great positivity. He has great confidence, and I think that really is one reason why he was voted the captain by his peers. I think he makes everybody in the room feel very good about themselves, very comfortable. But he also has an edge about playing. He thinks he could win everything, and I like that. So it's been a great fit, and he's been a great leader for us, and I'm really excited he's here. He's been a lot of fun to coach.
Hey, Mike, over here. Nice to meet you. I'm
Nice to meet
Spencer
you.
Ripchick from the Daily Collegian. So what was your pitch to the returning players to get them to stay, and how have they helped you and the new players get acclimated to Penn State?
I really didn't give them a pitch. It's more they were going to be here because with a good month before the semester ended. So it was our job as a staff to spend a lot of time with them and get to know them and have a lot of open communication. We got to spend time with them on the court. Kanye was familiar of how we played. His high school coach went to VCU. He was familiar with some of the guys on our staff and also just the style of play. With Jamil and Meach, we just spent time with those guys. Those three guys love Penn State. They had a great freshman year and they really enjoyed their time here. So I think that helped. But then they got to know us, that part. The other part is anybody that's returning to a program that needs 10 other spots, there's great opportunity. It's not like nobody left, right? And there was lots of opportunity, lots of playing time, and no matter what, 18 to 22-year-olds that are competitive athletes, if they have opportunity, they want to compete for it. And those guys, they right from the get-go, they wanted to compete. And as we brought guys in, they did a great job of making guys feel welcome here. But those three guys have worked really hard, without a doubt. So we spent a lot of time with them and just even off the court, just time to get them to know us, get them to know me, how we do things, and I think it's been a good fit.
Mike,
Daniel.
Daniel Gowan, Lions 24/7. You took Kanye with you to Big Ten Media Days, and it seems like that listening to him talk, he's taken a step forward and a bit of a leadership role. And from that perspective, what have you seen from this growth from him in year two, and how will having someone like Ace, playing with someone like Ace, do you think that will help Kanye?
I think it's helped both of them, Daniel. They're both dynamic ball handlers, and they play with pace and speed, and I think that helps both of them. They could help each other handling the basketball or against pressure, even though both of them probably don't need it all the time, but they're there to help each other. I think the biggest thing when Kanye came back for the summer, he was just all in. He wanted to be here. The style of play he was excited about, and I've held him to a high standard. I think he can continue to keep getting better and better. I thought he had a great summer and fall, and he could really make plays with the ball in his hands for he and his teammates, and continue to make the game easier. That's the goal I have for him his sophomore year. Is you have this. He's elite with his speed with the ball in his hands. Now, can you make the game easier playing at that speed? And that's the next step for him. But he's been very coachable. The moments that he's had that maybe he's struggled in preseason practice, like we all do, everyone does, he's done a great job of owning it, understanding it, and trying to get better. And I've been really happy with him. He has an edge to him. He wants to compete. And I think as a basketball player, he's continuing to get better and better all the time. So when you have a guy like him that has speed with the basketball that negates size, and he's tough and he could make plays, and then you have other guys like him on the court together, that gives you some a dynamic approach that we need.
Hey Mike, Max Ralph with
Max.
All Penn State. How are you?
Great. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Obviously, the guy who had this job before you left after just 2 years. What's your message to a fan base and a program that's looking for some long-term stability?
Wait and see, right? No, I mean, I'm here. I'm here, and I guess I'll answer that. If you look at the contract, you see how I want to be here for a long time. Look, to be at a place like Penn State with the administration, I came here because of the belief Pat Kraft has in Penn State, the belief he had in coming after me, and the alignment of our president and our director of athletics. Like that to me was huge. And the reason I came here, I knew a lot about Penn State. I knew more about Penn State than a lot of people. But talking to Pat and his team, it just had me so excited about the possibilities, what we can do. And it's an everyday approach. But I know a guy like him has my back, and he's been a lot of fun to work for in 6 months here, and he's excited about what we're trying to do, as we are. and those are the type of people you want to work for. So, my daughter's going to be playing lacrosse here next year. She'll be a freshman. My son can't wait to get up here next year and go to state high. There's a lot of neat things. I'm 2 hours from my mom. I've seen my mom in the last 6 months, more than I ever have since I got in this crazy business, and so that's been a lot of fun. Now there's a lot of people in Schuylkill County coming up here the last 6 months that haven't. I don't know if that's good for Center County or not, but it's been really cool to have everybody from home a part of this, and it's been a blast. So I am locked in. We have a lot of things we need to do to make this program better. Some of it's short term, some of it's long term. I'm in it for the long haul. I'm excited about that. And I said this from the first day I got here. We're going to build this to last. We just don't want to be, a flash in the pan. We want to build it to last. And it's everyday approach, but stacking days on top of each other.
Coach, Shane Thomas with CNHI.
How are you doing, Shane?
Doing well. How are you?
Great.
You talked about your dynamic guard play, but one of the dimensions I wanted to talk about is Leo O'Boyle and Zach Hicks being tall shooters. Having guys that can attack and collapse the defense, how important is it to have tall shooters to be able to spread the floor?
Yeah, it's huge. And I would put Puff Johnson in that category as well. Having those guys with length and size and toughness, but also can stretch the floor and create great spacing, allows some of your dynamic guards more space to get downhill. That's got to be huge for us all year long. So we got to make shots to space the floor. That means we put multiple shooters out there. To be considered a shooter, you got to make shots in game action. I think these guys have done it in the past, but we got to do it at a high clip. And then it's going to allow guys like Ace and Kanye and DeMarco and Ray Q to get downhill and make plays, and Nick to make plays for those guys, but also for themselves at the rim. So that's huge. That was one part of being in the portal as soon as we got here, was finding guys with length and size, so we can guard people, but also be able to have enough skill, especially shooting skill, to stretch the floor and to make transition threes with everybody, but also stretch the floor in half court and make it harder to guard. It's all right. You're pretty close, man.
I had one job, but Ben Jones, StateCollegeNots.com. Good to see you again.
Good to see you.
Recruiting classes, you have to meet 3 or 4 guys and their families and get to know everybody's name. When you have an entire roster of guys, is there a process for, like, your name's Zach and your mom's name is Tammy? This just sort of like relationship building of the little things about guys that you need to know to kind of earn their trust. And is that different this time around than maybe when it's just 2 or 3 guys?
No, it's just what we do. It's a great question, and lots of people have been asking me that. How are you getting to know everybody? And I'm like, what do you mean? It's what we do. For these guys to give me and our program and each other everything they got, the first thing that they want to know is, Coach, you got my back. Do you care about me? So that's our job as a coaching staff, is spending time with these guys on the court, off the court, just hanging out and just shooting it in the training room, in the weight room, walking in the lounge, spending time with these guys, grabbing somebody, say, what are you doing? Let's go get some wings. That sounds like not a big deal, but when that player knows it's just Coach and I, or 2 coaches, or a GA, and we're just sitting around being normal people, and they see that side of me instead of the side with the whistle in my hand, that's more important than anything that we're doing. So I think I might have said this, but this is where it goes to. When I became a head coach at 25, Jody and I were engaged. Jody was 24. She said to me, if this is what we're going to do for the rest of our lives, let's make it about everybody and make this a big family. She said it, and because I was like this, and one thing, it was the best piece of advice I got, because we made it more than basketball everywhere we've been on this crazy journey, adventure we have. And so, I hope 7 years from now, Kanye had a great career at Penn State, and he has another basketball career, but he can't wait to get back to Penn State to see the coaching staff. Or when one of these guys get a job promotion, that they call Coach Rhoades or Coach Brunn or Big B to let them know, because we'd be so proud of them. It has nothing to do with basketball. So I always say these guys give us all their time and their effort and their approach, right? Big portion of their life between 18 and 22. Let's make it more than basketball. So that's just me. Some coaches, it's just a basketball relationship. If it goes further, I want it to be the other way around. I want these guys to have real relationships with us beyond basketball. The basketball to me is the easy part. That brought us all together. But I've had conversations with some of these guys since I've been here now that have been a lot deeper than just basketball, and I think that's what we're here for. So that's how we get it. That's how we get it going. That's how we start this thing. Let's make it more than just basketball while we're here. We're putting all this time and effort to get an unbelievable degree from a great university, playing big-time basketball. Let's make it more meaningful so it's a lot of fun.
Hey, Coach. Riley Holsinger from WTAJ. Nice to meet you.
Hey, how you doing?
Doing well. How are
Great,
you?
Great.
So my question for you, talked about building up this program and winning the day. What goes into consistently building a program that's going to be playing in big games come March?
Number one is have a plan, right? Have a plan in everything we do. So we have a plan for our day as a staff. We have a plan for our players every day, from the weight room, from the classroom to their meals, to their tutoring, to their basketball, to their workouts, to the individual workouts, to watching tape, all that. We have a plan, and then you work the plan. You stay organized, but then you work the plan, and you give the guys an understanding in what it's going to take on a daily basis to get where we want to go. So I just think if you work that plan every day, and you stack good days. I've said that term a few times. Let's stack a couple days on top of each other. That's how you build it, and that's how you get from where you were to further along. I think that's really important. The other side of it is not to be afraid to put it out there. Like we're trying to win, and we're trying to win right away. And here's what it's going to take, guys. This drill right here on defense, you have to do this drill at a high level. Because in live action against another team, it's going to be really, really hard. Let's make this drill as hard as it can be so it translates to games. And everything we do translates to a 40-minute game of finding a way to win that game. And that's part of the plan.
Hey, Mike.
Hey, what's up, man?
Nate Bauer
How
from
we
Blue
doing?
White Illustrated. I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great.
Good.
Doing great.
How did the schedule come together, the non-conference schedule? You have some unique, and even the conference schedule. Obviously, you have a game at Rec Hall. Just what all went into building all of that? You inherit some games, just all of it.
Yeah, well, there were some already on the schedule, but you heard me from day one talk about thinking outside the box. Let's do some different things with Penn State basketball. Maybe that's been done in the past. It's been pretty cool. Let's repeat it, or let's try to find, some other things, other ideas, and let's throw it up against the wall and see what sticks. So, Jimmy Martelli, one of our assistant coaches, he's coordinator of scheduling. He's in charge of our scheduling. He's been on next to me for a long time now, so he knows what I like when it comes to scheduling and trying to find some great games, but also timing wise and seeing if we could play at different places that way. So all of that stuff, just making phone calls and talking to event organizers, talking to other coaches out there looking for games. And then talking with our administration and just throwing things at them. What do you think of this? Can we pull this off and that? The Rec Hall game, I've heard it. Everybody talked. I remember. I think it was '93. I remember sitting in my dorm room watching Penn State, Indiana play in Rec Hall, and one of my best friends was right at half court. He was out on the court during the game because when the ball went down that way. But I just remember that game. I remember how crazy it was in Rec Hall watching it. It was an ESPN game, I think. But watching that game, and I thought we got screwed that game too. But I just remember that. I remember seeing a game when I was a little kid. My dad brought me up to a game here. I think we played Temple. I was little, but I just remember that. So Rec Hall's a pretty cool place. And then seeing some of the pictures from the other sports there and how packed it is, what a cool old school vibe it has. Let's see if we could do that. Why not? Let's give it a shot. So that's where that came. And appreciate the administration really looking into it and seeing how they could pull it off. And we're going to play a Big Ten game in there. It should be a lot of fun. The Madison Square Garden game, who doesn't want to play a college basketball game there, or coach a game there, or play a game there? So concerts are really good there, but basketball games are even better there at Madison Square Garden. So we were going to go play in Atlanta. It fell through in the Atlanta Hawks arena. So we just got on the phones and started working stuff. And I talked to Damon Stoudemire, the new coach at Georgia Tech, and said, I think this might be an option. Is it something you're interested in? He was all for it as well. So we'll always try to figure things out like that. And in the future, we're going to try to play at different venues as much as we can, have some fun with it.
I'm Mike, Leroy Boyer,
Hey, Leroy.
Pottsville Republican.
You're
Hey,
following me around, man.
I am. Third time in a week or so. Hey, talk about bringing the Mike Rhoades intensity, 40 minutes of style of play to the Big Ten, and how much having Ace along makes that transition easier.
Well, I think having Ace and Nick Curran, they just can give the guys a heads up, like this is how coach does it. I guess, Leroy, I think it was like the second or third practice, there was something going on in practice, and Nick just goes, hey, that's not how coach does it. Let's go. And just different things like that. I think Ace and Nick help with that, and they just know me, and they know how we do certain things, from a drill to how our terminology and all that. I think it's like the term I use, it's like having a TA in a class. Those guys are the teaching assistants because they've been through this before, but they still got to take care of it and do their job as well. The intensity part, look, it's just the way I was raised, and it's the way I was coached. You do things as hard as you possibly can all the time, and until you can't do it anymore, and then I bet you can find some more. There's a little bit more in the tank. So we're going to play really hard. We're going to be intense with our approach. We're not going to back down from anybody, and that's the part of competition that's so enjoyable and so fun. But you better have an edge at this level to compete, and we got to make sure we work on that every day. So that's just, my dad used to always say to me, if they're keeping score, make sure you win. I remember him saying that to you, hey, make sure your team wins if they're keeping score, if the scoreboard is on. And so we have that approach every day. Make your team win, and impact winning. That's important.
Coach Rhoades, John Drager, Penn State Com Radio. How are you
Hey,
doing
John,
today?
how you doing?
Doing all right.
Great.
I don't know if you look at Ken Palm analytics or anything, but I noticed that your tempo is up into around the 100s range. Compared to last season when the team really slowed down the pace and utilized booty ball a lot, what have you seen from players like Kanye and Jameel Brown, who learned through that slow pace early on in their careers, and try to get them up to tempo with your style of offense?
Well, Kanye, that's not a problem, because we got to let him go. We got to let him go, and he's just naturally fast and quick with the basketball. It's amazing. Kanye's faster with the ball in his hands than he isn't. We got to work on that. But there's a lot of guys like that, and he'll play fast and aggressive because he can get downhill. So we're just working on it all the time. The other thing is, like a guy like Jameel and some of his teammates who are like him. If you could run and play in pace, especially when you're a shooter, that's when the defense is scrambling. They get in rotation, or you get to the 3-point line quicker than the defense gets set. And with guys that give the ball up, you get shots, and you get easier shots. Transition threes are easier shots for many guys. Jameel's one of them. But if you run hard and you play with pace, you'll have more opportunities for those transition threes. So we definitely, I think that's to our advantage. We have to play much faster than Penn State played last year, or that we played at VCU last year. I think that is a huge topic for us every day. How can we continue to play fast and be aggressive and put constant pressure on the defense? Because we don't want to always just be playing in a quarter-court offense against, a team that's going to be bigger and more physical than us.
Hey, Coach. It's Joe Tuman with the Daily Collegian.
Hey,
How's
Joe.
it going?
Great.
You mentioned Puff earlier, coming over from North Carolina. Also, DeMarco Dunn as well. Just with their winning experience, making an NCAA championship, just how do you think they can impact the rest of the locker room with their winning experience?
just being here already, they've experience, right? They have experience, and they've been in big games before, environments before. They can share that knowledge and experience with their teammates. I think the biggest thing for both of those guys, that those experiences helped them, but also created an edge for them, because the roles that they had at Carolina were different than the roles they're going to have here. So let it out, man. Let it out, and we need a lot from both of them. And they know the confidence I have in them. I think both of them could be very good players for us, but also we're all going to enjoy watching them play, because they play so hard, and they're physical, and they're aggressive, and they want to win. So I think they fit me, and they fit what we're trying to build. But they're two great kids. They've both been very, very coachable, and they're a big part of what we're trying to do. So just being at a place that has strong tradition like Carolina, they can come here and share some of that stuff here, and some of the things they've gone through, good and bad, are gonna help them here. Build this thing the right way. You got it. Thanks, guys. Good luck with that.